So we're about to take on our biggest project yet.
We bought this 1980s house with everything included.
When he said he was leaving everything, he's left everything.
And now we're attempting to take this on as our first ever do-it-yourself project together, transforming it into our dream home. But today, we're starting our biggest project yet, the kitchen. We're Andy and MH. After 6 years driving across the globe, from California to Argentina, up to the Arctic, Europe to Turkey, and through Africa, we're now building our home base in Idaho, transforming a 1980s house into our dream home, wrenching on our rigs, and still chasing adventure.
So this is going to be the biggest transformation we've done to the house yet. The plan is to make this small kitchen into almost double the size. But to do that, I'm going to have to take down this wall, which is a load-bearing wall, and that's a little bit above my pay grade. So luckily for me, Kevin next door is going to come round and give me a hand. Or more, I'm probably going to give him a hand. The house has actually been made bigger 3 times. So it started as a 600 square foot cabin, then it got made bigger and then bigger again. So I believe this is actually the old outside wall. I've been doing my usual thing where like, I feel like the hardest part of any job is just like starting the job. So I've been looking at it like, oh, shall I start here or shall I start here? Shall I start here? And then I've ended up just not doing anything. So I've just been sat looking at it for a while. So I'm going to start prepping the area. I'm really excited about this because this is going to be an absolute massive makeover for the house. Like, it's going to totally transform it because let me just show you how small the kitchen actually is. I can pretty much put my hand from one side to the other. So let's get cracking. I'm going to take your guys' advice and start being a little bit tidier as well, because I'm known for just going in like the Tasmanian devil, which brings everything down fast, but then cleanup takes a lot longer. Fresh blade on the Stanley knife. It's so nice. I don't know why. I don't know if anyone else is like me. You just hold on and you don't change those blades for so long, even though I've got like 100 pack or whatever. We've only got one heat source really. We've got a couple of electric plug-ins, but it's mainly just the wood stove that's in the living room. So I'm going to be quite intrigued to know, like, if I just cover this up with some 6mm sheet, like, is that room going to get way warmer, way quicker? And I've got a good feeling that this job is going to be one of those jobs where I do a section and then I come back and do some more and do some more. So right now we don't have a full set plan. There's definitely no drawings or anything like that. So I'd love to get your guys' opinions on what you would do, because we've gone forwards and backwards so much. This is where we're at right now anyway. There'll be a beam going across here to this beam and then one going that way. So then that means all this section here will come out. So it's almost double the size, or at least a third bigger. But I'd love to know your ideas. Like, we've even toyed with going into the dining area here and then having a cooker back there and all sorts of different ideas. I would like to know what you guys would do if you were in our situation.
Before we continue on the kitchen, I just want to celebrate how far we've already come on these 2 rooms. If you guys remember, the bar room was filled to the absolute brim with stuff when we first got the house. We now have a cozy little sitting area over here. Even though the flooring is not done, we're still on plywood in this room, but we can't put the new floors in until the kitchen is done, since the layout's gonna change. And yes, we still have our Christmas tree up. Don't judge us. And I'm so excited about this chair. This is a chair from my grandparents' house that I used to sit on as a kid, and I just love it. And we still have a long way to go in the kitchen, but I feel like the progress we've made thus far, just reusing pieces that were already in the house, I'm super happy with it. We've changed out the light, added some photos and stuff, so it's still feeling like ours even though it's not done. And I'm not gonna lie, we had a dinner party the other night, and this is just plywood sitting on top of a table under here, but it works. Oh, and some of you have probably noticed that the bar is gone. So yes, Andy and I tore down the bar a couple of weeks ago to try and prepare for the kitchen remodel. Really sad to see it go, but I think we have a plan to rebuild it in another part of the house.
It looks like there's a bit of wiring to come off there because the beam's going to be on that back wall. There's also the main water feed coming up this wall here. I'm gonna, do I get a plumber in for that bit? Or do I just have a go? I don't know. I'm gonna try and keep this wood though, because this is like nice cedar. I feel like it could come in handy for something. So I'm gonna do my best not to break that. This is a nice piece of cedar. I've got a feeling I'm going to be moving this switch, so I'm going to come as far over to the switch as I can. I thought I had that one without breaking it. I think not breaking it for me is not really an option. Speaking of breaking things, I've broke the switch now. Right, let's get this drywall or plasterboard off and get it exposed and see what we're working with. I'm really hoping that the cables going to this distribution board are all going down and not up, because it's already cut out here. I can at least just flop it out of the way then. Get the brew station moved. Right, moment of truth. As long as I go steady. It feels like there's some sort of metal there. Is there plywood or something behind that? It's sort of like springing back. Feels like there's a sheet of... Oh yeah, there's OSB behind it. I don't know how I'll get that off easy. Yeah, you can see a layer here. You can see there's a layer of plasterboard, but then there's a layer of OSB, which is going to make it a bit more difficult to get out. I'm going to take this cover off and just see if there's anything going up, because if there is, I obviously need to be a bit more careful if I'm going to start cutting and doing bits up there. Okay, so it doesn't look like there's anything going up. I'm not 100% sure where I'm going to put this yet, but if I do put a pantry, I need to look at the regs here, but I could probably just put it in the pantry. Let's see if we can just start peeling some of it back. Definitely makes it slower compared to just ripping it off. Well, getting that down was way more of a fight than I were expecting. I'm guessing it's got OSB on there for like shear strength or something like that. Luckily the other side is just plasterboard, but yeah, it was just so awkward because it's glued on, but then it's nailed in. So I could only get so far with the pry bar before it wanted to snap at each point. And anyway, it's down now, but yeah, that was way more of a fight than I were expecting. Okay, well, I've got tidied up and I've got the rest of this drywall off, which, like I said, way more of a fight than I were expecting. So now that that's off, I've just put one screw back in this mains board just to make it a bit safe so it's just not on the floor. But I figured, while we're on a bit of a roll, I'm going to let's start just getting this drywall off. That's just drywall, so I think it should be really easy. And I'll get this kitchen unit off. Hopefully this doesn't just fall on me. There we go. And like I said, this was a bit of a fastball. We wasn't expecting to get stuck into the kitchen this early, so I'm not sure what Mary Hannah's plans are with these units. I don't know if she's going to sand them and repaint them, or whether we're getting new, but I feel like my future garage, or workshop, these will come in handy for those if we end up using them. Maybe I can paint them black, or I don't know, but I'm not going to just throw them away because I feel like they'll come back in handy somewhere down the line. Oh, that's so much easier than the other side. This is like 50 times quicker than that OSB on the other side. Crazy. That's so satisfying after doing that other side. I mean, I may as well just... That's coming down anyway, right? Is there anything behind there? Pipes or anything? This will actually give us an idea of what it's going to be like having an open kitchen. That feels so much bigger. That's crazy. It's going to make such a difference. And the plan is to have no walls on this side, so it feels all open. You know, that's a big room in there. That's like, I think that room's like 42 foot long. And there's all windows all around. This is going to be so nice. As much as I love cracking on with these projects, one of my favourite parts of the day is walking Benji. This project's been a massive undertaking and we've been working like crazy.
I'm working 9 to 5 right now and then working on the house and editing on nights and weekends. So it's just been a little bit of a full send season. And with all of that, we haven't really been eating well. We definitely have not been working out. I don't think in like months. And beyond coming on these walks, we really have not been getting outside. Not even camping, which is so unlike us. We obviously were on the road for years, and then to go from that to transitioning to being in one place, working on projects inside of a house all the time has been a huge transition for us. And a lot of you guys have actually commented that we need to take more of a break, which you're right. But we really want to start prioritizing our health again and starting to work out, starting to eat healthier, and starting to try and find balance again. Maybe even getting out camping more often, which would be awesome. One thing I've always wanted to try but never did, partly because we've always been on the move, is therapy. And this week I actually tried my first session with BetterHelp, who's sponsoring today's video. BetterHelp makes therapy feel way more approachable. You just go online, fill out a questionnaire, and they match you with a therapist. And because it's online, it gives you the flexibility to have your session wherever you are in the world. Whether you're in North Idaho working on projects in your house, or if you're back on the road and driving across America. For a long time, I saw therapy as something that you lean into when you're completely falling apart, but I've started to realize that it actually can be a great opportunity for growth and learning more about yourself. If you've been wanting to try therapy too, you can click the link in our description or go to betterhelp.com/expeditionrove to get 10% off your first month. I'm really excited to start this journey and bring you guys along for the ride. Even in this session this week, one thing that she told me, a little takeaway, was start celebrating the little wins. And that tiny thing has helped me reframe my entire week and start to shift my mindset. So I'm really excited to continue this and see how it goes. I'm really curious if you guys have ever been in a little bit of a rut or a full send season. Really curious what you've done to help pull yourself out of it, whether it be workouts, routines, new hobbies, any of that good stuff. We are all ears. Sweet boy. My Betty boy. This is always my favorite part in it. Ah, look at the little smokestack.
So I just got a message from Kevin and it sounds like he's going to be able to come a day earlier than what he thought, which is amazing, but I just need to make sure that I'm ready for him because I don't want him having to mess around with all these easy jobs, you know what I mean? So one thing that I should have obviously probably done this to start with, but I got too fixated on doing the tear down, is making sure that it, like where the posts come down, that it's got like a good base, like a good foundation, so that it's not just sat on top of plywood or whatever, and it carries on all the way down to the ground. But obviously if I am going to have to do concrete, it needs to have enough time to set. So I'm going to get down there now and just check the bases. I hope that it's already there, because digging out in a crawl space is not going to be fun. But let's get down there and just double check and see where we're at. Right, what have we got here then? So one post. Oh, nice one. So that one's going to be good, but then there's going to be one here somewhere. Right here. So at least that's pretty easy to get to. I don't know, I'll have to pull this board off and look underneath, but I'm guessing it's going to need some sort of better foundation. Let's go look at the final one at the back, which I imagine that's probably going to end up needing it, because it's the most awkward one to get to. Because right now at least I can kneel here, but it's like a wedge shape, so the further I go towards the front of the house, the more narrow it gets. I should have probably put overalls on. I think it'd be nice to actually cover this basement at some point with a plastic sheet, 'cause from what I read, it like stops moisture absorbing up. Although it all looks pretty dry, which is good. So this is what I'm saying about how the house got extended and extended. I think this is, I could be wrong, obviously I'm not a builder, but I think this is the old exterior wall. I can see another concrete pillar like this further down there. I hope that's right where that door frame is. So I measured upstairs, which is 110 inches. Ah, no. So I think it were about here. I'll just measure backwards. It'd be a lot nicer if I had plastic sheeting down, just so I'm not crawling in this horrible dust. When I come back down, don't worry, I'll bring a mask. So I'm pretty sure I measured that out right, but just to double check before I start digging in the wrong place and wasting energy, I'm just going to drill a little pilot hole down here, and then I should see some light through, and then I know I'm in the right spot for sure. So I could obviously just hope that I see the light coming through, or leave a drill bit in there, but because I'm doing this by myself, then I'd have to like come back out and pull the drill bit out. But I've got these little glow sticks, like what you see kids use or what you use in the military, but the smaller version. So I'll crack that, shake it up, and that's about the right size as my drill bit. So when I go underneath, I should be able to see it pretty easy. Give that a check then. 12 inches. Honestly, like, I think one of the reasons why I didn't do this job first is because I was sort of dreading it. But it's digging out so easy, like that's just taken me a few minutes. On to the next one. Okay, so this time I brought a plastic sheet down with me, because it's like really fine soil down here, dirt. Gets really dusty, so I'm hoping to not get absolutely filthy, because I don't want to be doing extra laundry if I don't need to. Right, where's that glow stick then? I suppose if I turn the light off, in theory, I should be able to see it. There we go. So I know I'm in the right spot. Yeah, you definitely want a mask for this, it's horrible. Okay, I'm happy with that. I think it's time for a run to Home Depot to get some concrete mix. That's not the easiest thing to pour it out of. I think I might have put too much water in. Yeah. I don't even know if I'll be able to lift that bucket up. That is way too much water. Right, what do I do? Well, I've got my Firehouse Subs pickle bucket. It really smells of pickle. So I might have a smelly concrete, but Right, wish me luck. This one's actually looking way better. Right, batch number 1. Let's give that a go. I think I'm gonna struggle crawling with these buckets to the other side. Pretty heavy. Right, so now I've got to lay it in. I'm gonna just put a bit of rebar in, and then I'll add some to the top. Hopefully Mary Hannah don't mind me using the pans. And then I'm going to put this wood in the top. It's pressure treated, and it's got galv nails in different angles, so that should go on top, and then I'll do my best to get that level. And the post will be able to sit on there and get something for it to tie into. I'm not sure how much of this it'll take. Oh bloody hell, that's heavy. Oh no, it's taking quite a lot. I did end up making it a little bit deeper as well. There's actually a little laser dot there, so I'll get this as central as possible. I'll just get my level on there. I couldn't find my little boat level, but this will have to do. So it just wants to go down a little bit on that side, and then side to side. One down, one to go. Yeah, I definitely won't be able to do this with a full bucket. Right, let's give this one a go. I've actually just dug a little bit more out to make it longer, because there's a chance that we might just push the beam back a little bit more. Batch number 2. Right, I'll get some rebar in it, try and strengthen it up a little bit. Batch number 3. If this looks easy on camera, it's not. Just crawling in, then I just smash my head on this beam. Oh, keep going, Andy. Number 4. Is that going to be the last one? It's going to need another. I reckon one more for the king. 5th and final load. Another job down. I'm really happy we got this done, because now it's going to give all night to set, and then tomorrow I'm guessing we're going to be putting braces up and all that, so at least half a day tomorrow, if not the whole day. It's pretty late now, so I think it's time to get upstairs and get some food made. I'll see you in the morning. You ready?
Got a pile of snow. Okay. A little bit more.
There.
Okay, let's do that. There we go.
You ready?
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay.
There we go. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah.
How heavy do you think this is?
It's pretty heavy.
Yeah. I wonder if I should have maybe brought him back up for this part. Okay, so while Kevin's just getting set up, I'm just gonna get the man fed a bit of steak and eggs and a cup of tea. We've been to the lumberyard, we've got the big beam, and now we're gonna make some, like a supporting structure here, so that it supports the wall while we take the old wall out. So that's what we're on with first.
Way too much. Now we'll see how close. Because I want to be quite a ways this way.
So we've got the structure in right now, but right now it's just held by screws, but it's in place, it's uptight, it's got shims in. So now once we put a couple of pieces directly underneath this is what's going to hold the weight. I'm really glad Kevin's here to help me, because this is a bit overwhelming if I were just doing this by myself. What, so now you can take this corner out?
Yeah, yeah, we'll just cut that all.
You can't take, can you take this section out?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that. All I wanted to
Oh,
do.
because that beam goes all the way over
Yeah,
to
this
there.
is, we could have actually took it apart, Andy. I just like having that braced out. We get that done. We can take both of these out if we wanted to.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm getting it now because the weight is on that post and that post is
Yeah.
the corner basically.
Yeah, right. Might run upstairs, Andy, and we're going to measure back because this is quite a header they put in there. Yeah, I think at worst case, so it does line up. It's not necessarily a bearing wall. There's rafters above it, but the rafters are lapped. It's not a continuous rafter. So what we'll do, we'll start taking that out. If we detect any sagging, we'll just put a post here with like a wide board, top and bottom, and one down there.
Okay.
We won't need to put a beam in. You are going to redo your backsplash, I take it. I think we're going to have to, but there we go. Nice. Yeah, that is nice.
So can I hit that there?
Yeah, Andy, yeah, you bet. Right there. Here you go. Get a little tension on it. There you go. Nice. Now we'll move down.
You know, I wouldn't say that if you hit hammers together, they explode.
Oh, yeah, I've done it quite a bit. I've had chunks fly out.
So that's just an old myth then?
Yeah, they don't, they're all hardened about the same. Okay, now, just have a couple nails in the tops.
That's about to go.
Yep. Get on this side, Andy. Oh, you got it.
There we go.
Well, we salvaged most of it, Andy. Darn, that was a... I'm just glad that thing didn't fall down on.
So this is coming out really well. We are going to just put an extra post in here just for peace of mind, just until we get the long beam in.
We always said an octopus would be a good framer, you know. Yeah, that they had some nails in them.
Well, we're making some good progress, Kevin.
Oh, we're making a mess, Andy.
We're definitely making a mess. But we've got like dining room side down now, so now it's just this far side. Not that we need to take all this down tonight. I can do that, but we need to at least get this corner piece out so then we can feed the big beam in there. So we're just thinking, since there's only two of us, we don't want to break our backs too much. We're thinking about getting like a little hoist that'll lift the beam up, because I don't know how much that beam weighs, but it's a lot. I'm just about to cut a piece of this cedar out, and this circular saw, this Ryobi, came with the house, but I've got all Milwaukee tools, and I didn't actually have a Milwaukee circular saw. So what I did was, if anyone's in the same boat as me, I just got this little adapter off Amazon. I think it was like $12.
Be careful too, Andy. Try not to breathe in too much of that cedar sawdust. That stuff's kind of bad for you.
I'll put a mask on.
It might be good, Andy. Yeah, that.
I wonder if it's this adapter. I didn't know about that fault until this second. So it must be just because it's a bit loose.
Huh. That's frustrating.
Yeah. Okay, we'll have to come up with a new plan.
Pop right out of there. Probably not. We can't. Oh, you got it ready? There you go. Just the shelf.
Okay, so as we've just been like unpeeling the onion, we presumed because the beams in that side of the room are running that direction, and then as we've started peeling on along this side, I'm guessing, so we think this is the old part of the house. The beams are running the opposite way. So we're just going to put a bit more of a support on this side as well, just to make sure.
Okay, that's pretty nice.
Just called Western States Cat, and they've got a hoist. So I'm going to go pick that up first thing in the morning. That should make our life way easier. I think this is a really cool looking building.
This is a toy store. Oh, it's a dangerous toy store.
This must be that ATV trailer you see in there. I will treat myself at some point. Hey, she's a good even oldie, man. Not too bad actually, is it? Yeah, I think there must be quite a bit of weight at the front. So we've put a string line across from one end to another because there's a slight bow in it, and we just want to obviously make sure ours is straight. And then from the string line, Kevin's now putting a level on and then leveling up. Like we could use a speed square or whatever, but we just don't quite trust it, so we're just going to use a level. If you're wondering why we're using like plugged in power right now, Kevin's actually got a Milwaukee, and I'm a big Milwaukee fan. I've been using Milwaukee since 2008. But his circular saw, you've not even had it a year, have you?
No, just
Not even-
about 8 months.
Yeah, he's only had it about 8 months, and his Milwaukee 18 volts just stopped working, which is, I've always had good luck with Milwaukee, so that's a strange one, but that's why we're using plug mains power right now. So now that the end of the beams are all cut off, you can really see why we need this temporary brace just to hold it until this gets tied back into the new one.
I wish I'd have brought more of those 4x blocks over. I got a few of them.
So this is definitely one of those times where it's measure twice, 3 times. Kevin, I've tried not to interrupt him while he's doing his measuring, because as you can imagine, this beam is pretty expensive and it's not something we want to get wrong. Yeah, this is exciting though. It's about to go in.
I'm going to cut this one, and then I'm going to double check that length again. Beautiful. Now, our double, triple, quadruple check. Now we'll take our beam wrench. And
Wow, that's a tool and a half.
yeah, they're handy. As you get older, you have to make things like this, Andy. I got it pretty good. It's going to be a little slack when it. There we go. I got it. Line.
Is this in millimeters or inches?
Good.
I think Mary Hannah's going to be impressed if we can get this in before she comes back tonight.
What? Oh, is she coming in tonight?
Yeah.
Roll that up like that. Okay, I'm going to have a little bit of slack, and then I'm going to roll that. There we go.
So here we go then, the big job. All up to now, everything's been preparation for getting this big boy in. I was hoping to get Jason, our neighbour, to come round and help us, but he's busy. So it's just the two of us. Let's see if we can get this big boy in there.
There we go. Okay, and yeah.
So
Oh yeah, we got a good.
when I move this rear one, I'll be able to lift that end up.
Oh yeah, that's true. Here.
Okay, so you're...
Okay, awesome. Perfect, Andy.
Yep.
Okay. Nice. Over this way. Okay, Andy, we're clear that way. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna stop right in there. Watch yourself. Oh, shoot, Andy, that's my hip. Okay. Boy, that thing wants to wander. Okay. Set it down. Really.
This is a handy piece of kit.
Oops. Okay, Andy, there we go. Okay. Now let's take it on in there, Andy. There we are.
Okay, sweet.
Now. Okay, we're all the way loose. Dang, oh darn it.
There we go.
Okay.
That's going.
Okay.
Oh, nice one.
Whoops, now.
Yeah.
Oh, there it went.
So the big beam is in place now, which is really exciting. It's not fully fixed in yet, but it's sat down well up in this corner. And we've just put a temporary post in to hold the weight on this side. So now Kevin is just up there. We're just gonna put these hangers in. So the joists in this ceiling are running this way. So then these will get tied into this new beam, which will stop that, which then means we can take this temporary beam down before Mary Hannah gets home. So then all this is going to be cleared out of the way. So it's going to look way nicer when she gets back, because she's been working away for a week. So although it's a disaster, it's forward progress, which she's going to be really excited about. This is a huge job. We weren't expecting to get stuck into this job so early in the year, but now we're really excited. Okay, I'll let it down then.
We've got it up there pretty darn snug. So you could go around the neighborhood lifting stuff up, Andy.
Yeah, get us money's worth out of the rental.
Sure. Yeah, can't go too far because it's got that other one under it. You'd have a screw at the bottom of that, Andy. Okay.
I've got that.
Okay. Oh, I got it. You got her. And that.
Well, I definitely couldn't have done this without you.
Oh, no worries, Andy. No, piece of cake. Sometimes a piece of the dirty, rotten cake, but no. we had to fuss with it a little bit. But, you know, they're always, everyone's different.
Go on then, look at her. Who's here?
I'm so excited to be back here. Oh,
Huh?
that's great. It looks so good.
And you brought a curry home.
A curry home? Wow.
Look how thick it is though from this side.
That's crazy, isn't it?
So obviously this is not staying forever. So we need to get a big post that'll go there.
Yeah.
And also I ordered 16 foot, and then when we picked it up it's 18 foot 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
So instead of it being here,
Yeah.
now it's gonna be here.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so tiny. I'm so excited right now. I cannot believe the transformation in a week. And I'm also so excited because Andy just told me that this was...
We were filming that.
Oh, were we?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. He didn't know. He didn't know this was going. So excited. I'm literally so excited to be home right now. Hi. Hi, baby. So I knew this was going to be gone, but they've also removed this wall, which is incredible because now we can basically have so much more freedom to turn this into whatever we want. We could do, you know, move the fridge over to this wall, for example, maybe do countertop space here. Candidly, I have not thought about the plans for this kitchen for probably like 5 months. And so, although they're ripping the wall down today, we really need to put together some drawings and pick out cabinets and all of that stuff to start making the next phase of the plan. So give us any ideas you got. What would you do? How would you lay it out? All advice welcome. I also am just so thankful to have Kevin's help. I'm sure Andy could have figured it out in some way. He is pretty good at that type of stuff, but to have Kevin here, they are cranking this job out. Holy cow, to have his expertise on this is just amazing.
Thanks for watching. Join us next week as we continue the kitchen project and rescue an old friend.
And please hit that subscribe button. It costs naught to you, but means a lot to me.